Saturday, January 13th. Now, when my brother-in-law, Tony, when I was a little boy back in January of 1964, when he saw that I was so interested in this American Heritage volume, The Age of Steel, because it was all about ironworking, he brought home to our house this little booklet for me. And this is what it is. It's called Ramapo Wheels and Axles. This was published by the Ramapo Foundry in 1920. And that's because he worked at the Ramapo Land Company, and they were the heir apparent of the Ramapo Ironworks. And this was a pretty neat little booklet. It had some good images in it. I brought it to Walt, because Walt also, when he was a boy, had been around the ironworks. And Walt opened it up, and he found this image right here, you see. There's a couple of ironworkers, and they're pouring molten steel from a container into a mold. That's a cold steel mold down there for making the wheels. And he said that actually when John was a young man, he saw one of these containers split open, and the molten steel, like lava, just splash out onto the floor, and it injured a lot of men. And I had wondered, was that how he lost, my grandpa lost his two fingers? He said, no, that happened much later. But it was also something that happened at the ironworks. And then Walt looked through these images, and he found these pictures. This is of the wheel yard. See how the wheels were all piled up there in rows? And he said that when John, his dad, was a little boy, 11 years old, he had the job of moving the wheels from one area of the yard to another, to these big rows of wheels. See all these rows in here. And he was a little boy. I said, how do you do it so heavy? And he said, well, no. Walt said that the men picked up the wheel and they got it rolling, and a boy was on either side of the wheel whacking it with a pipe to keep it rolling all the way along until they could spin it around and drop it into one of these piles. Wow. He said it was dangerous. He said it was. When John was little, he was doing this with another boy, and they lost control of the wheel, and it flipped over and crushed the other boy's foot. Crushed it. And Walt said, yeah. He said, when your grandpa was older, when he was a middle-aged man, and he got that injury that cost him two fingers of his right hand, he still considered himself lucky. Lucky? Well, yeah, it's better to lose two fingers than a whole foot. Lucky. Well, we'll do another one tomorrow. See you then.